Well, good morning, guys. Welcome to Words from a Friend podcast. I'm your host, Marty Carey, and this is the podcast that follows my book, Words from a Friend, A Daily Guide to a Purposeful Life. It's available at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. We're on a 365-day inner journey together, so happy to have you along. We are on episode 53 today. In the book, it is the February 23rd message. And today's message is the power of your spoken word. The power of your spoken word. Very, very important. And when I was preparing to do this morning's episode, I looked at what it was, and it was just funny because we were just talking about this last night. I was with my buddy Jimmy and my buddy Tommy, and they're both ball-busting assassins from early childhood. And I was just saying, hey, listen, these things, I told you these things are going to happen when you say them. You've got to be careful of what you say. Anyway, I'll have to share a story with you once we get through in a little way, because I said I'm going to share this with you guys because it is so funny, and it has everything to do with today's message about how we speak, what we speak, and then manifesting into our lives, what we attract into our lives by what we speak. We speak our story every day, and it's so important to, be aware, mindful of what comes out of your trap. It is so important. So important because you're creating with it. You're creating your personal world with it. Your spoken word. It is one of the creative pieces of what we talk about here as the formula. Thoughts, words, deeds. What our thoughts turn into our words, unless we are looking at our thoughts and being the watcher of our thoughts, then we are the guardian of what comes out of this contraption instead of just letting anything loose and having no filter on yourself, right? So many of us have no filter. That can be funny sometimes, but it can also be just the downfall of our personal world because you'll go around the block so many times because you're getting in your own way and you're creating circumstances for yourself that don't have to be. You're creating drama for yourself by your spoken word. And you have to ask yourself, what do I want? What do I want, really? Do I want peace? Do I want a nice flow in my life? Do I want some harmony, finally, after conflict? Because you can't just run your whole life in the space of conflict in your mind, that monkey mind. You just drag yourself down into the personal hell. That's what it is. You got to grab control of that. You got to take the wheel of your own mindset. You have to master your mindset. And you do that with your soul. It's the only thing you can do it with your spirit. That's how it works. Your ego is part of the problem in your mindset. So you don't master your ego. What you're mastering is chipping away the unnecessary so that you understand that you can flow so much more efficiently, effectively, peacefully, in coherence with the divine order of things, which is the beautiful flow. All right? Once you're in it for a while, you go, like I say every day, it's like, yeah. I had to slough off a bunch of things. I was carrying too much in my boat. Too much. And I had to get rid of it and hone it and whittle it down to the most important things. And that's the best way. You live simply to simply live. Just make sure what's most important. And don't get caught up in having to keep up with the Joneses and all this other stuff about what other people think, right? I think that we're moving into the time, and I might have said it before, as more simplicity, right? Just you're out in nature more. You're doing all that kind of stuff, rather like the way it kind of used to be before technology. We like to do that kind of stuff now a lot more, especially when the weather gets better, which is coming. A few weeks away. So I know it doesn't look like that outside today, but we're not far. Once it starts warming up, start seeing the grass again, and you start hearing those spring birds. Woo! We're in. And the snowman opens up. It's over. We're in. We're in. It's like the Six Flags just opened up. The Six Flags of Troy is the snowman. Okay, the power of the spoken word. We are all very powerful creators. Nothing creates our lives more than the power of our spoken word. Well, that's part of it, really. It's like thoughts, words, and deeds. So thoughts first, and then what we animate into our words from those thoughts. How we structure them, how we approach them, if we use them, or if we just keep our trap shut because that's what's best. That's the ship you're taking control of. You're not just you're just blurting out. The blurting out all the time is you not watching and being in control of your own mindset, you know? You can be so much more peaceful and just like, centered. Centered. You don't have to act. You don't have to act. You can be yourself and just say, this is how I like to approach life now, right? Especially at my age, I just want more of that. More of that. Simple nature, good stuff, good people, good vibes, right? What else do you want? What else do you want? You don't have to have it all. That is having it all. You know what I mean? Right? Simply. Because you whittle it down, you build a family, you build your house, you build all this other stuff, and then you go, man, we did a lot of stuff there, didn't we? Now what do we want? Well, let's keep going. Yeah, well, in different ways. In different ways you keep going. What turns you on? And what turns you on? For every chapter of your life. Wayne Dyer, the Dr. Wayne Dyer that I always talk about, look at his books, they're great. He says we're in the morning of our life. The day of our life, the afternoon of our life, and then the evening of our lives is, when we're getting a little older. Like my pops, who's 88, and he's still as sharp as a tack. I love you, Dad. Still as sharp as a tack. I can't believe it. It's beautiful. So anyway, and he still has some good spoken words and his Irish bullshit charm. It's the best in the business. The silver fox. Okay. When we realize that most of us give no attention to the thought that precedes our spoken word, then we can begin to understand how we can either tear down or build up our lives and the lives around us. We must all become masters of our minds and thought life. We have a thought life. Until you pay attention to your thought life, you don't have control of yourself. You don't. And you'll easily get out of whack. You easily get offended. You easily get out of control. You easily go from 0 to 10 all the time. You don't have control. You got to master yourself. Self-mastery is fun. Self-mastery is like, let's see if I can do this because I used to do this. Let's see if I can be in a more calm state. Let's see if I can. That's the self-challenge, but it's also the self-work. And it works. I'm here to tell you that it's the greatest work you ever do is on yourself. It's on yourself, and you have so much more to give others by doing it. Your spoken word is part of your painting. How you paint your life every day. What you write down on that page of your life for that day. And you're creating your life story one day at a time. Okay? You look at it that way. It's like, I can do this one day. Sure, I can do this one day. It's the next week I'm worried about. I'm thinking about next week, right? That next week will take care of itself by you staying present in the moment, taking care of what things you need to take care of before that week comes. And do yourself a favor. Set good intentions for yourself for whatever it is that thing is for next week that you're worried about. Say, no, it's going to be great. And not just going to be, it's going to be fine on your no. Tell yourself, it's going to be great. And I'm going to nail it. And I'm going to nail it. That's what you say to yourself. And you say it with that commanding tone to yourself and outwardly. You're telling the ether that's how it's going to be. Sending it forward for you to meet you there when you get there. That's the power of your spoken word. Sending it forward in your own favor. It works. Every time. Every time. You take your own nerves away from that next week's self by not even having them now. Just stating the fact that I will knock it out of the park. Okay? And then whatever preparation you have to do to knock it out of the park, do it with joy. Don't do it with nervousness. Do it with, this is a great project, creative project that I'm working on. It's great. It's creative. I'm going to enjoy every step of the way. And if I get out of my head, I'm going to take a break and rest from it. I always talk about Bruce Lee and how he was also a philosopher. He loved ancient Chinese wisdom, Lao Tzu and Confucius and all of those. And he was always talking about, taking the bad ideas and watching yourself crumple them up, make a list of shit you don't want in your head anymore, crumpling up in a piece of paper and in your mind, lighting it on fire and throwing it away. You're getting rid of You're getting rid of that stuff. And what's left is the stuff that was useful for him, right? Which was useful. So he's refining himself. What words do I no longer need to speak? What stories do I no longer need to tell? Because every time I tell them, I bring myself down and everybody around me because I haven't dealt with it yet. I haven't been able to let it go yet. And I want to, and I feel like if I keep talking about it, I'm going to let it go. No? How you let it go is saying, I'm giving this to you, God, and I don't need to talk about it anymore. I love whatever it is and I give love to whatever it is that I need to let go of. I give love to the lesson. I give love to the person that left. I give love to the memories of somebody that may have gone and I'm still holding on to a memory or a breakup or any of those things, right? What you find is that you don't want to jump to the next cloud. Like if you just got into a relationship and you or got out of a bad relationship or a relationship it was just time. It's done. Okay, you've gone as far as you can, whatever that is, and you want to give some space between that and your next one. That space between there is the time you work on yourself to say, what did I have to look at myself and what did I really contribute to that mess that was back there? Those are the things I want to slough off of me before I go looking for anything else, because you're going to attract back to yourself who you are, right? A lot of times you're just going, no, this isn't it. This isn't it. But if you're going to be more easy about yourself, you're going to want an easier going person. And I always said to my daughter when she was growing up, I said, Kate, the thing you want to do when you're looking for a person is write down the character of the person that you want to attract in. They've got to be. Write down the things that you need in your life. Kind, caring, compassionate, right? Strong, not domineering, not controlling. Those things got to be you never have them on your list, but make sure they don't get in. Love has to be the nice circle between you. So you're giving to each other, pouring each other's cup. You're not competing with each other, with your old ways. You're learning to become one in a way that you guys can come together as one, right? You have to give up some of your old crap to become one with each other. Great. But you're both going to have to give up some of that crap. It can't be one person that has to get rid of all the crap. It never is. Never is. So, at any rate, let's get back to the story. If we practice the art of being mindful first and give some space between thought and spoken word, we become the master creator and will be conscious in all our choices. You become good at it. You become really good choice maker, because you're saying, what is most important to me? You're actually asking yourself the right questions for the first time. Maybe you're just asking yourself questions for the first time, because you're always just reacting to what the world gives. So most people do. They live from the outside in. Whatever the day brings, I'm just going to react to it and do whatever I do with my old lines and my old conditioning. It's no good. It's no good. You're constantly upgrading your system. Constant little ways. Not big, huge ways, but sometimes that can come in good leaps forward in knowing yourself and becoming not only okay with living in this body, but the friend that you need to be to this person that came here, the best friend of that person. That requires a lot of upkeep, beautiful upkeep, worthy upkeep, work, self-work. Okay, sounds like, I don't want to do any more work on myself. Then that means you don't want to love yourself more, because working on yourself is loving yourself. It's part of self-love. And if you're not going to do it, you're just going to be swinging in the wind all the time. Erratic all the time. That ego just wants to take you out of your game all the time and easily. And it can, until you start to be the master of your own mindset. Master of the way you walk in the world. Spoken word. Thoughts, spoken word, and my actions that follow. Master those. And your life will become the beautiful garden that we talk about every day. Because along the way, you're planting great seeds in front of you, right? With the new tone, with the new attitude, with the new way you walk, more confidence in, I'm just being myself, my ever-loving self, okay? And stay in that energy, you're going to have a nice ride. You're going to have a very nice ride, okay? Stay. It's called staying in tune, like the tuning fork. Stay in tune with the higher vibration that's already you, covered over in worldly bullshit. That's got to go. Take out the garbage. All right. We need to know the voice of our ego and our spirit. This is it. This is the inner journey. You got to know both. You got to understand which voice you're coming from, which voice you're about to let out of your face. This is crucial to living a great life. We all know these voices, and usually the ego likes to be our spokesperson, doesn't it? The defender. I'm right out there. Yep, I got to stay. This armor's got to stay on. This mask has to stay on in order to keep me safe, in order to protect that heart of mine that's covered over in there. Well, I don't know about you, but I've seen people walk through life with that guard down. I mean, not boundaryless. The guard down has a presence to them, that is just like, you don't see any of that coming their way, because it's like people hit that light and they're like, I couldn't even dream of being mean to this person, But that happens. You can see it. You can feel it. It's a person of light, and they just want to give you some of it. So you go, great. Who does this? This is a nice person here I'm looking at in front of. It melts the gatekeeper away. It's a power to melt the gatekeeper away, the ego in others. I use my mom as an example all the time because she was my greatest mentor. But in this way, and the way she just used her energy as her message, and it was just love opening doors for her all the time, and how she treated people, everybody, the same way, got the same love, got the same message. And I said, that's it. What else do you need to do than that? That's what's most important. That's what God wants from us, for us, and that's what creates the most beautiful personal world for yourself. So you got to learn to wield it as your daily message, your daily calling card. Spoken word is so much important to that. I want to get through this because I want to tell you this funny story, and we're getting long. Okay, we decide to start choosing our thoughts and become self-aware. We have decided to be the captain of our ship. This is one decision that will transform your life forever. Just go in this direction, move in that direction. That's the flow. Feels good. Feels like I'm doing something purposeful, meaningful, just for me, my family. I'm moving forward in it, right? In the vibration of something new for myself that I'm really excited about, that I created because I said yes to something that I may have been scared to say yes to. Okay? Like that movie Yes Man. You just sit around all day not saying yes to anything, saying no, and you're that whole complaining self, and it's like, forget about it. No, don't give up. Don't give up. No, rest and get up. If you need to rest, get up, but get back up. Get moving. Get that body moving. Get that heart a pumping. Get that smile a working. Get that train a chugging. Okay? What else are you here for? Okay? Do that for yourself. And you'll be doing something for everybody around you as well, whether you want to or not. Don't be a curmudgeon. Give that light of yours away. Okay, so today, practice the art of being mindful. Mindful of the ego that it's present and it wants to speak. Hold that thought and be sure to hold your tongue. We all have the problem with that sometimes, don't we? Holding that tongue because you just want to, you got to say it, but you're going to pull the pin on a grenade. Maybe sometimes you got to pull that pin just to wake some people up, okay? But man, do your best to do it the best way possible. All right? You can be the truth teller without the hammer of it. You can. You're able to do it. I've seen it done. I've done it. Right? There's just a different angle. It's just a different emotion, an energy we come from. Not emotion, it's an energy. It's the energy of love. I understand this. Let's try and get to some kind of a peace deal here, a compromise, where we can raise each other. All right, raise ourselves, and we all feel good. Just give yourself and your mind some peace and space, and the right choice will emerge. This is the CTA. Live today from a good place and sweep the ego's demands, and what they want to speak. If your ego wants to speak, sweep it out of the way. Stay in the flow. Oars in the boat. Let the flow take you. So I was at my buddy Tommy's house last night. We're talking about the spoken word stuff, and I said, I said that would happen, didn't I? And one of the greatest stories of our friendship happened because I said something would happen when we were 14 and 15 years old. Tommy Blake moved to my neighborhood, when we were young, and he was like having the Peaky Blinders move to your neighborhood. He was out of control, just the best guy ever. And so we became great friends. And one of the things we do is we're just coming of age in the music stuff. And my band was, of course, and still is, Lynyrd Skynyrd. And Tommy's was Van Halen. And we had the band wars going, and we were busting each other's balls about it all the time. And so we'd either get on the bus and ride down to the city of Troy, downtown, and go to the Music Shack, where it had all the albums and the cassettes and the 8 tracks. We're all down there. And this particular time we go down once a week, take our money, go down, buy a new album for our collection. And I had already had all the Skynyrd albums. And so I had all the Southern Rock. I love it all. And so I go down there, and in the window is this Johnny Van Zant album. It's right in the window. I go, ha ha. And I didn't know that it was, and then I said, it's got to be Ronnie Van Zant's brother, lead singer of Lynyrd Skynyrd. So it's got to be good. It's got to be good. 38 Special, all of that, right? So I get the album, and he gets something. We get back home, and I'm brand new. I'm so psyched to put it on and hear what it's all about. And I take the album out of the thing, and I throw the cover on the bed. And I go to put the album on the stereo. My back's to Tommy. Well, he's over on the bed, and he's got a pen out. And he draws on Johnny Van Zant's face. Like, can you see it right there? The fangs and the eyebrows. And I turn around and I go, what the hell are you doing? Are you kidding me, you asshole? That's Southern Rock sacrilege right there. I said, you know what? I said, someday I am going to meet this guy, and I'm going to bring him that album, and I am going to show him what you did, you a-hole. And he goes, yeah. We laughed about it for years and years. And in 2015, I was at our Crooked Lake house, and we do weddings there and stuff, and we were having a particular wedding there, and one of the DJs there is a great guy, great friend. Mike Garassi is his name, Music Man, Entertainment. He's awesome. So if you want to book him for something, man, he's the best in the business. Started when he was in high school. He told me he's been to every concert, was always a concert goer. And I was telling him this funny story about the Johnny Van Zant album. And he goes, dude, that is such a great story. He goes, you know what? If I can ever help you make that dream come true of going, because I said, it's not something that I would ever spend on myself, although I had gone and see the new Skynyrd with Johnny singing a few times. And love it anyway, because they're playing the best music ever. And so Tommy, of course, said, I was telling Mike the story. He goes, if I could ever make that dream come true for you, I will. So about 6 months later, he calls me up, and he goes, hey, Marty. He goes, I just want to tell you, I love that story you told me about when you guys were 14, 15 years old. And I'm making that come true for you. He goes, I had just bought you 2 front row tickets with backstage passes to Lynyrd Skynyrd it was the Pepsi Arena at the time in Albany. I go, what? Who does this? 2 front row. And we were there, and we went backstage, and Jimmy and I went. Much to my wife's dismay to this day, she goes, you took Jimmy? I go, well, Jimmy and I were Skynyrd boys. Our whole lives we were Skynyrd guys, And so we had to go. So we go down to the Pepsi, and they take us backstage, and I go, Jim, hold the camera. Make sure we get this. I brought the album with me. I said, I'm going to get this thing signed. And just before we went in, they said, the band's not going to be signing anything. So Jimmy goes, I'm just going to get you telling the story. I said, fine, that's great. So I called Tommy up that day. I go, hey, nutbag, guess where I'm going tonight? He goes, where? I go, let me take you back in time, my friend. Let me take you back in time. And when you drew on Johnny Van Zant's face, what did I say to you? What did I say to you? He goes, oh, yeah, someday I'm going to, and he gives you that voice. Someday, like, I'm the goofball. Oh, yeah, well, this is the day of reckoning, brother. Tonight's the night. My buddy just made my dream come true. And we went backstage, and I got the video. And I'll see if I can share it with you. Because Jimmy took it, and it was funny as hell. Okay, see if you can hear this. Let me turn this on. I've been waiting to show you this. Oh my God. 15 years old, I bought this album, and my buddy defaced your face on the back. I said, someday I'm going to meet that guy, and I'm going to put you up in a picture.
It looks fucking good.
I said to him, I told him during last week, you remember this? And he goes, yeah, I remember. And I go, I'm bringing it this week. 37 years later. Thank you guys for all you do. Years I've been waiting. 15 years old. And of course, I sent him that immediately. And he sent me back a photoshopped version of Johnny Van Zandt and him holding up a Van Halen album. So it was great. But that, my friend, is the power of the spoken word and how things can manifest. They may take 35 years to happen, but this one did happen. And it was such a funny story that I wanted to share it with you. So just remember, it's all about love, all about relationships, and things like this happen when you're in that zone. All the time they happen. When you're looking for them and you're creating them with your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Okay, guys? I know it's a little long today, but I hope you enjoyed it. Oh, listen. Okay, please. I hope this message. If you're watching on Instagram cuts this short. They don't allow me to finish on Instagram. So watch it on my Facebook page. You can friend me on Facebook. Or please watch it on YouTube, most importantly, and hit the subscribe button for me if you would. That helps the message get out even more if you like the show. Okay? Thank you. Instagram, come on, let the video play. You guys got to hear the end of these things. I hope you're hearing it now. Much love. Have a great day. See you tomorrow, guys.